So if you had said that we would be flying across the country to talk about mutual funds, I would have laughed. But here we are today because what is happening here today is going to be game changing for NRIs to invest in India.
Yeah, I don't think anyone realizes just how much of a game changer this is because we've seen people go through the horrors of figuring out which account to open NRE, NRO, PIS, non
Yeah.
PIS, having TDS deducted on every single gain. All of that goes away.
So today we are here in Gift City for the launch of the first retail inbound mutual fund from Gift City, and this fund is being launched by Tata. I think this is a game-changing moment for NRIs to invest in India. For the first time, there is a low-ticket investment option available for NRIs to access the India growth story. So let me just break it down for you. So funds that are based in Gift City that further invest in India and especially in Indian mutual funds have a complete tax exemption to them on capital gains on the India side, right? So for example, as an NRI, if you would invest in an onshore fund today, you would have to pay the same capital gains tax that a resident Indian does on your equity investments, whether they are mutual funds. So 20% on STCG and 12.5% on LTCG. But now, if you do the same investment via gift city based feeder fund such as the Tata fund that is being launched, there is complete exemption on capital gains tax. There's no TDS, no tax to be paid in India. Of course, your home country taxes would apply. But for an NRI, let's say who's living in UAE or Singapore, this becomes a completely tax free investment into India's growth story. And till now, there were such funds available, but there were only high ticket size funds known as AIFs. And there, the minimum ticket size was 150,000 US dollars. This is the first retail focused fund being launched with a ticket size of just $500. So now NRIs across the world can access the India growth story in a low ticket way and without any tax on the India side. And we at Belong are proud to be the digital launch partners for this retail fund coming out of Gift City today.
I've always wondered what it's like to have been in, let's say, Dubai in 1970 before the whole thing took off, or in Hong Kong in the 1800s. And I think this, where I am today, is a moment like that. There's a dam and there's a massive pool of money on the other side, and the first drop has seeped through. So very, very happy to be part of this historic opportunity. At a more human level, I think we in India talk a lot about trying to improve ease of living, and we often forget that the Indians who live abroad are also Indians. Many of them are still citizens of this country and they have rights. For once, India is acknowledging that they also get to have ease of living.
That point really hits home, and it goes back to, I still remember like when, while building Belong, I, have that line in my head that, one of my friends said that as an Indian who lives in UAE, it is ridiculous that, investing in US is so much easier for me than to invest in my own country. So at Belong, that has become like a guiding principle for us that we should make it as seamless as it is for them to invest in anywhere in the world. So and I think just last week we took a major step closer to that dream. So our fastest FD that we booked on the Belong platform was done in less than 48 hours from app download to actual FD being booked. The same. So this involves account opening, KYC, money movement, and the FD booking. Like if you had to do this with an Indian bank today, it would take like at least a month, right? That entire process, and we were able to do it in just 2 days. So that was a massive, moment of pride for us that yes, we are building towards that dream now.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the traditional route of opening an FD, the emails flying back and forth in bad English, and you're not able to understand what exactly they want. You guys are definitely helping out a lot of people.
So if you had said that we would be flying across the country to talk about mutual funds, I would have laughed. But here we are today because what is happening here today is going to be game changing for NRIs to invest in India.
Yeah, I don't think anyone realizes just how much of a game changer this is because we've seen people go through the horrors of figuring out which account to open NRE, NRO, PIS, non PIS, having TDS deducted on every single gain. All of that goes away with Gift City.
Yeah, in fact, just funny that you bring it up. Just yesterday, I had a 30-minute conversation with a US-based NRI. He has almost half a million to invest in India, and he was just trying to figure out what this whole NRE NRO combination with PIS non-PIS means. So it took me almost 30 minutes to just explain it to him,
Yeah,
that how this whole thing works.
alphabet soup.
Yes, and at the end he said that it feels like you need a PhD to invest in India.
Yeah, yeah. In what was once your own country.
Yes. So Neil, we are here now in Gift City. You have been covering a lot of Gift City related
I've been
material.
obsessed with Gift City.
Yes. So have we been in a different way, but would like to hear from you today that what do you think Gift City is? What does it mean for India?
So first off, this is my first physical visit to Gift City,
Okay.
and it was a very very pleasant surprise. It's all organized, clean. It's almost like not being a regular part of India, which is in a sense what it is, right? It's a place that is outside India in some ways, and physically lives up to that reputation.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that this is your first visit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, welcome to Gift City. And what do you think the economic significance is? Like, if you can just summarize it, like, what does it stand for? What are the benefits? And what is the government actually trying to do here?
If we think of two highways, one going to India and one coming out of India, currently they're both filled with potholes. And apart from that, there are random buffaloes straying on those highways, and traffic is jammed, and people aren't able to get in and out. And what this is a brand new, fresh highway, Samruddhi Mahamarg counterpart, which will, eventually absorb most of the traffic. So I'm really, really bullish about this.
So, this is like a gateway to India, right? For foreign capital to enter India, and as well as to some extent for Indians to invest abroad.
Yes.
But obviously, I think the more, at least that's what I believe, the more focus is obviously to attract foreign capital into India.
So the first highway is the highway going out, and the potholes there are, first of all, if you try to take out more than 10 lakh rupees, government is going to put a 20% tax credit at source on you, TCS.
Yeah.
And getting that refund is another big process. The other is LRS itself. So there are specific things you can use each remittance for, education or travel. You can't use it randomly. You can't do F&O trading, etc. Um, so people don't know this, and they bump and have crashes and make a mess of themselves. The other highway coming in, there the first pothole begins at the doorstep only, KYC, like you said. And this whole physical come to India and do KYC is absurd. And once you have done your KYC, then figuring out the alphabet soup that should you have the NRE account, NRO account, and the bank is just going to try and get you to open as many accounts
Yeah, that's
as possible,
true.
because that makes them more money. The second, I guess, big pothole is navigating the currency alphabet soup. And the tax, of course, is the third and biggest pothole to be in, because, as you rightly said, there are two systems. There is the Indian tax, and then there is the tax of your home country. And it's as sometimes as basic as the years are different. Like one is calendar year,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
the
Yeah.
other is financial year. So just to reconcile those two
Yeah.
becomes a headache. Then there are treaties. You have to find out in your particular treaty with India, your country's treaty with India, what is allowed as tax credit, which incomes are taxed
Yeah.
in India, which are taxed in that country. So, my God.
I think that's a great way to visualize it, especially for us. So yeah, so one way is the outbound highway where there are Indians who are looking to invest abroad. Earlier there were these international focused mutual funds, but I think over the past few years they have not been able to add more investments because of the limits that RBI has imposed. So yeah, in Gift City in that way, the outbound highway enables that. There are the potholes are still they still remain. I think one of the biggest one being the LRS limits and the TCS on LRS. So that still remains, but yeah, hopefully given how much the government wants to focus on it, that may be changed. I want to focus more on the the other highway,
Sure.
the inbound highway, because I mean I strongly believe that is what the future of Gift City, or what the primary purpose of Gift City is. And as you rightly said, the current highway that leads that leads foreign capital to India, the inbound is really messed up, right? The amount of potholes, traffic jams, the buffaloes, I mean it's massive. And the first and the biggest one is like what we hinted on, the whole the whole jargon alphabet soup of NRE, NRO, PIS, non-PIS. Even once you have sorted all that out, right, the next place you get stuck is KYC, right? Like there's just no way to do digital KYC today, like, and we're living in 2025, right? Like asking an NRI
Yeah.
to visit India just so that they can invest some money in an Indian company or a mutual fund, I mean, it's just
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous.
Although, side note, a bunch of Indian moms are probably really happy about that. That's probably why this exists.
Yeah, no, that's true. Sometimes you think, okay, it's a one-time process, so you come to India once, and you can do that, and then everything is fine. But even then, there are problems. You have spoken to a lot of NRIs. We keep talking to NRIs. One of the constant thing we keep hearing is that okay, it has become easier to send money to India, but taking money out of India is like still very very difficult.
Yeah.
Right. So and then you don't want to invest so much when you feel that okay, you will not be able to take it out when you
Absolutely.
need it, right? So I think repatriation of investments has also been a big challenge. And I think finally the entire tax complexity around investing, right?
Yeah.
And especially as an NRI, right, you have to deal with two jurisdictions, two currencies. The tax laws of both countries are not the same, and this whole double taxation. In India, there is TDS, then you'll have to do filing. You have to figure out your filing in
Yeah.
whichever home country you are. So yeah, I mean it has been quite a mess. But yeah, as we said, your Gift City is here to solve for that, and we as Belong are trying to make the KYC process completely smooth. We do doorstep KYC today in UAE. We are looking to expand in other countries. We have made the money movement very seamless. It's as good as doing a local transaction. And then the Gift City provides the regulatory framework that everything is freely repatriable. Unlike India, right? Whatever money you send in, you can take it out, no questions, no limits. And thankfully, on a lot of products, there is no tax that the NRI has to pay, and that is the real game changer in a way, and something which is a big part of the significance of the event that we are here for today. Like, why do we need a bank account like to be opened before they can invest? So I'll give you an example, like US, right? Now if you have to invest in US, like as resident Indians also, maybe we are investing in US, we are not required to open a
Correct.
US bank account to invest in US. So why do we even have that requirement in India? Like that's something
Yeah.
that I've never understood. And because of all these reasons, right, today an NRI sitting in UAE or even Singapore finds it much easier to invest in US than to invest in India. In fact, like I know of so many NRIs who are investing in an Indian ETF listed in US,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And not being able to do the same thing directly through India.
Yeah, and people don't know the pitfall with that. So, US ETFs are treated as FPIs, and the tax is deducted by India. Often they're not able to claim that in the US, and so the returns always lag the actual returns of the Indian market. So, it's a suboptimal way of.
Yeah, I remember, like, I think you had tweeted about it. Like, I think over the period of 5 years, there was a drag of almost 20%
Yeah,
in returns,
it's insane.
even after adjusting for all the currency conversion.
Yeah, yeah,
So so I mean, yeah, there are all these, existing highways filled with potholes and traffic jams. But we are here to talk about the new highway that is being
yes,
built, which
yes.
is Gift City, and the event that we are here for today, which is the launch of the first retail inbound mutual fund from Gift City for NRIs.
I think Ankur, we should break down this statement into its components.
Yes,
So,
there's a lot to unpack there.
yes. So let's start with retail, because up till now all of the funds were
Yes.
for rich people. To put it in common terms, AIFs, so minimum of 1.5 lakh
US dollars.
US
Yes.
dollars.
Yeah.
This one has a minimum of 500
$500.
US dollars. So really helpful to middle class Indians
Yeah.
across the world. The second is inbound. So again, coming back to the two highways, this is the highway that's coming in. Um, and fund, so it is a mutual fund.
Yeah.
What it does though, it feeds into other onshore schemes of Tata mutual fund. So this is a subtlety that people are not aware of, that it doesn't directly buy and sell stocks.
Yeah, you can call it a feeder fund or a fund of funds. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason for that is manifold, but tax is a big one because it feeds into other funds. There is no tax on the fund at all. Whereas if it had directly bought and sold stocks, they would have to pay tax at fund
Yeah.
level.
So that's the tax exemption that has been given to Gift City based entities. It goes like this: that if the entire capital of the fund A is coming from non-residents, and then that fund is investing in securities other than stocks,
Yeah,
right, then that they're completely exempt from capital gains tax. So that is why a lot of these funds are structured as funds of funds. So instead of doing directly stocks, which would then
be taxable.
be taxed, they're saying that okay, we will not do directly stocks, but we will invest in mutual funds.
Yeah.
So there's like a two layer to it, which enables them to get this tax exemption. And this tax exemption, I just want to spell it out. It's massive in two ways. So one, currently, if NRIs invest in India through the onshore funds, uh, the taxation is the same as of a resident Indian. You have to pay 20% on your short-term capital gains and 12.5% on long-term capital gains.
If it's equity.
Yeah, if it's equity. On top of that, if you're an NRI, then there is a TDS, right? So first there is a TDS that is deducted, and then you have to file your ITR at the end of the year, and then figure out if there's a refund due
Yeah,
and all of
yeah.
that. Now, if you're doing the same thing through this gift feeder fund structure, of which Tata is an example, then there is no TDS and no capital gains tax liability
Yeah, yeah.
on NRIs across the world. On the India side, obviously, their home country will have their own rules around taxation of of
Yeah,
foreign
yeah.
income.
No, this is
So
important
that
to highlight.
applies.
I get a lot of
Yes.
comments saying that why is India opening this tax-free highway straight into our markets, whereas we are poor residents of
Yes.
India, we get taxed. So the point is that they do get taxed in the home country. It's just that India takes away its part of it because it's getting money from abroad.
Yeah. So on the India side, there's no TDS and no tax on capital gains. So whatever tax needs to be paid in their home country. And then here, if they are resident in a country like UAE or Singapore, then because those countries don't have any capital gains tax, then net it can become completely tax free. So that is like a massive game changing investment route that Gift City is opening up for NRIs. I mean, that is the reason why they have built Gift City, right? To attract foreign capital into India.
I mean, if you are a UAE resident, you are actually enjoying a significant advantage over us Indians who live in India who have to pay capital gains taxes.
Now with this mutual fund product, which is coming in at just $500, we want to keep the effort also very low. And the target here for us is that to be able to do this on the same day, right? We managed a 2-day FD booking last week. Now, the target for us that we have set for ourselves is to be able to go from scratch to an invested customer in just one day.
Sure, going from T plus 2 to T plus 1, hopefully
Yes.
T plus 0 one day.
Yes, definitely.
So, this highway that we spoke about, which is brand new and pothole less that cars can drive on, I think one of the things that regulators can do is make video KYC the first point, and that's been proposed, by the way. So, the faster they implement that, the faster we get to where we want to. In terms of where this might go in 5 years, so there are two effects. One effect is the money that would have otherwise come through the onshore route comes via Gift City, which is also good. It improves ease of living. Um, it brings in that money still into India. The other effect, which I think India is hoping for, what the government is hoping for, is because the highway is now smooth, the quantum
Yeah.
of money goes up, and that enriches all of us. I mean, there's more money being invested in this country.
No, and definitely, I think I don't remember the exact numbers, but there's an estimate of that if we have to reach the Viksit Bharat vision by 2047, then we need multiple trillions of foreign capital investment, right? We don't have that kind of capital sitting here domestically, right? So we need that capital from abroad, and definitely, once the smooth, 8-lane highway has been built, definitely the taps should open, because India is the new growth story in the world, right? Like, I think that has been firmly established. So as you said, it's like a dam of capital pool just waiting on the other side for the floodgates to open, and Gift City is probably going to be that. So there you have Neil Borate, editor in chief of Fine Print. Must say, like, we continue to love the infographics that you and your team has been putting out with the same rigor that we used to see at Mint, and probably even better. So look forward to more stuff from you.
No, and in fact, I owe you some thanks on this, Ankur, because all our infographics on this subject, particularly NRIs, which is extremely complicated, Ankur has helped us out with in my previous avatar in Mint and now at the Fine Print. And what you're doing is unique. I haven't actually seen anyone else in this space, and the problem is massive.
That's true. And at Belong, we are very excited to build this platform so that we can take Gift City to NRIs, right? Fulfill the purpose of Gift City. Finally, you have an app that NRIs can actually download and avail of Gift City products. Otherwise, it has always been like an abstract notion. But now NRIs can download Belong, invest in products like fixed deposits and upcoming mutual fund products out of Gift City and benefit from India's growth story.
So we're supposed to head into the ceremony in a couple of minutes.
Yes.
When is the fund going to be live?
It's already live on Belong. Just download the app and check it out.
Fantastic.